Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and today we're going to have a look at the latest GFS, GM, ECMWF and GFS ensembles. Do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you do like and subscribe. First of all, I'd like to say sorry for not uploading for the last about 10 days. After quite a busy winter, decided to take a bit of time off from making videos. Been quite busy, but hopefully now things start ramping up towards the summer and the unlocking of restrictions, where the actual day-to-day weather is more important for most people. I'll be getting back into the flow of uploading once every 2 days, and when things get interesting, when there's thunderstorms around or stormy weather or heavy rain, for example, probably uploading more daily. But we'll get into the video now. So currently, if you have a look at the GFS, we are under a big ridge of high pressure, extension of the Azores high, and it's been very dry, but not particularly mild at the same time. The air mass is pretty cold. A lot of Europe has seen some very cold air coming down from sort of Russia and the Arctic. We've been more of the milder side, but it's still pretty chilly with the airflow coming in off the North Sea. But generally, it's not going to be very mild or very cold as we go into the next couple of weeks. See, this high pressure is over the top of the UK, and it maintains sort of strength throughout early this week before we do start to see a westerly flow come back in with low pressure coming down from Greenland. Now, it's not going to be very stormy. As you can see, the areas of low pressure are still towards Iceland, but generally it's going to be windy with weather fronts coming through. And you see there is a colder sector in there, could give some snow potentially, so yeah, late season snow to maybe some higher areas of Scotland, but most areas will be generally high single digits with quite a lot of showers around. Again, a typical sort of April showers where we've got very cold air mass over the Atlantic, quite a warm sun, so quite a lot of convection, so maybe hail showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms coming in of this northwesterly wind. But as we move through these low pressures, just stay out in the Atlantic before we do start to see one move through. Again, could be pretty gusty there towards next weekend, but nothing too unusual for March. I mean, if we saw the centre of this area of low over the top of the UK, then it would be more unusual, and we could be seeing a named storm with that. But at the moment, with it further northwards, and we're really just seeing the southern flank of the winds, I wouldn't expect anything too much to come of that. It's maybe a few yellow warnings in force if that does come off. Beyond that, you can see generally high pressure to the south, lower pressure to the north, and we're sort of in the middle. So we're going to have periods of drier, maybe a bit warmer weather, and then the next day it could flip colder and rainy again. It's going to be quite changeable. And as you see, towards the end of the run again, we have this flat westerly airflow. Before the end of the run, a little of northern blocking moving in, and we could be starting to see northerly winds. That's pretty cold in there. There could even be some snow, especially over Scotland, quite a cold air mass with that. Again, further southwards and in low-lying areas, probably be quite chilly, a few degrees below average, and quite cold rain with that. Again, it's towards 384 hours. We can't really take it too literally at the moment, but as you can see throughout the majority of that run, it's just really quite interchangeable between unsettled and drier conditions. Probably more dry in the south and more unsettled in the north, and generally around average for most of the country. No sign of anything very cold in the near future or anything very warm in the near future. If we now have a look at the GM run, we'll move back to the midnight run, see if anything, if it follows what the GFS is going for. As we run through again, that high pressure sticks around before it does go westerly again with those westerly winds. Again, potential for some quite heavy rain and strong winds, but nothing too unusual again. And we do see those low pressures rattling in off the Atlantic. We do see those southwesterly winds, and it will draw up quite mild air for the southeast, especially. So where we see those in the southeast there, it could be showery and a bit of rain around, but we do see some sunshine. Temperatures could climb, as we're seeing this as a wind coming off from sort of the Azores and parts of Spain. That's where the air mass is coming from. And whereas further northwards, quite cold, and where we do see that dividing line likely to be weather fronts and heavy rain for Scotland and northwestern areas. But that's what's 10 days, so it's going to be difficult to pin down exactly what's going to happen. We'll have to look a bit close to that further in time to see exactly whether we're going to see this sort of setup. Again, if that low pressure is a bit further southwards, more areas see heavy rain, colder air, and stronger winds. That high pressure moves further northwards, more areas tap into that quite mild southwesterly wind, and even potentially even warmer for the south and southeast. If we now have a look at the ECMWF, see what the ECMWF is showing, whether it's what similarities and differences it does have to the other models. But as we run through, you can see, again, very similar with that low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, and we do start to feel in that southwesterly wind towards day 10. You can see the high pressure is a bit more in control, and that would definitely potentially give quite mild, maybe even warm conditions to the southeast. And if we have a look at the HWA temperature deviations, you can see quite warm in the southeast potentially. But again, still low pressure out in the Atlantic, and it's likely to break through as we move in after that. Again, 10 days away, so it's quite difficult to pin down exactly as we head into April. Lastly, we'll have a look at the GFS ensembles, and as I said, it's generally around average for the near future. Quite dry at the moment with that area of high pressure before more wind and rain moves in. Again, London in the south, so less likely to be impacted too much by the rain, but still have weather fronts moving through, so still see bouts of rain and wind. But generally, temperatures around average. Feeling colder whenever you've got the wind and rain, maybe feeling a bit warmer when you have the sun, but nothing too warm or cold, really, just really average conditions for March. And with the potential for the stratospheric winds to start to die down as we see the final warming of the stratospheric polar vortex in the coming weeks, there's potential that could start to allow higher pressure to take more of an influence, but it could block to our north, sending us colder. It could block over the top of the country, giving us our first hints of some warmth. Again, that's something for a few weeks in the future, and that's really one we'll watch as we head into April. But it's just hints of what could be controlling our weather patterns as we head into the middle of spring. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed discovering it, and I'll see you again for another video soon.